Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to another edition of Shoot the Defense. I'm Stel, and my co-host, as ever, Steve Eyre, Sagi Burton. Rhodri Giggs should be here any moment. He's fashionably late. Well, they say lateness is greatness. But anyway, before we get onto bio, Steve, how you doing?
Really good, are you?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Loads to talk about tonight. Loads to talk about. So I'm sure this will be another eventful show. Sag, you good?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, ticking along.
You seem rather happy today.
No, I'm okay. It's been a good 2 weeks. Today's been a bit hey-ho, a bit strange, but hey-ho. Get on with it.
Okay, fair enough. All right, boys. Well, without any further ado, let's go with the big story that broke today. Al Hilal have offered 259 million euros for Kylian Mbappe, an offer that Paris Saint-Germain have accepted. Now, we don't know the figures that are offered to Mbappe. I guess it's down to the player to decide whether or not. Some outlets are saying it's a 400 million pound a year deal. I can't make head nor tail of it because there's so much money going on. But Steve, I don't even know what to ask you with this situation. I mean, there are hundreds of questions I could ask, but just tell me your thoughts on this, please.
Well, there's a snowball effect, quite clearly, Stel. Almost daily, you're seeing people like Max Power of Wigan Athletic going playing in the Division 2 in Saudi. You're hearing of Jordan Henderson. And now all of a sudden you're probably going to the best player in the world, the best attacker in the world presently, who is going to almost wave goodbye to his career domestically, but just be the most most lucrative contract that football's ever given. So obviously this is just in its infancy at the moment, and they've gone straight to the top with their target. You can only imagine there's going to be dozens and dozens of other footballers follow suit.
Well, it is eye-watering. We've seen all the transfers that have been going on in Saudi, which I guess we're going to discuss in a bit. But Saj, what would this mean for European football in general if the move does happen?
I don't think it'll change too much, to be honest. I mean, there's still a vast amount of great players in the European market. I mean, maybe losing its top player may affect it a bit, but I don't see the quality kind of diminishing much with Mbappe going. I mean, if I was Mbappe, I probably would go, man. I mean, it's generational wealth, isn't it, man? Changing for all his family and stuff like that. But hey, it's not me.
Okay, well, let's go into this one then. So we know that Mbappe wants to leave. We know that the player has quite a bit of power at Paris Saint-Germain. Is this potential transfer a wake-up call for Real Madrid? Because we know he wants to go there. Do you think this is, Mbappe's agent's way of maybe speeding up Real Madrid now? Because obviously he wants to go there. They've spent big on players like Bellingham. Is this a game?
Well, I don't think it's a game because in a heartbeat, there would be millions of the population, us, that would accept this contract that's been, offered to Mbappe. So it's so big and outlandish that it suits Paris Saint-Germain, who could, we talk about generational wealth for families, but obviously already a wealthy football club. They're set up for decades. If not only to obviously dominate the French football league, which they do largely, but to obviously be better in Europe in the Champions League. So it suits them too. And if Real Madrid do step forward and with a bit of urgency, is it going to be anywhere near the wages and salary that's being offered here by the Saudis?
Not a chance. And there's a gentleman about to jump in the room. We're obviously not paying him anything. He's not on Mbappe wages anyway. It's Rhodri with Caesar. How you doing, Rod?
Should be. Yeah, sweet.
Should be.
Right?
Oh, good, mate.
Hello, Rod.
You right?
Yeah, all good.
That new mic you've got there, what's that? It's a jazzy little mic there, isn't it? Looks like a fan, that. Yeah, what is it?
No, man, I've had it for ages.
Oh, okay.
It's just that maybe you guys haven't seen it. There you go. There you go. It's disappeared. My
If
little
you put it
friend.
a little bit, it looks like the top of your head down there. It looks like the top of your head. Can you see it?
Although it is whiter than my head. Although then again, this British weather might as well be pale as milk. Bro, we're just talking about Mbappe's potential move to Saudi Arabia. 259 million is the figure that Paris Saint-Germain have accepted. Is this legit, you reckon? Do you think it could happen? Do you think Mbappe would want to go there?
For that money, yeah. Why wouldn't you? Even if you went for 2 years, 27 when he goes, 25 now, 27, be a billionaire. It's a strange one, because would you want to go there if you was Mbappe? Not really. But that money is enticing. You won't blame anyone.
Well, this is it. There's a whole heap of questions when it comes to the Saudi league. People say, "Oh, what about financial fair play? What about this? Are FIFA going to get involved in this and that?" But the fact is, I think we all know that money talks. And don't be surprised if in maybe 5 or 6 years' time they start talking about a World Super League. I mean, we already got the World Club Championship, so it wouldn't surprise me if one day it happens.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think FIFA's really got a leg to stand on after awarding the World Cup to Qatar, to be honest. So, they probably will move towards that. And because there's a legislation out in Saudi Arabia about financial fair play, they can do what they want. So they're playing within the rules. So, no one can really say anything. I mean, where it is probably against the rules, but still within the rules, is where the Saudi clubs are buying the English clubs and kind of doing transfers amongst themselves, buying a great English player or buying a player that's within the English league and then loaning them back. Say, for example, Ruben Neves, if he does go to Newcastle, as it was rumoured. So, until the rules state that you can't do it, then it's fair game.
Yeah, we saw a lot of people asking about Chelsea's transfer activity in January, and as it turns out, it was just a smokescreen, wasn't it? Because they're backed by Saudis, hence the reason why we've seen so many Chelsea players go out there. So, yeah, it will certainly be an interesting situation with Mbappe. But, gentlemen, let's swiftly move on to another transfer rumor, which, again, has been rumbling about for the past few hours, really. And Rod mentioned this back in the last season. Harry Kane. We spoke about him potentially going to Bayern Munich a few weeks ago. Well, it looks like Man United have thrown their hat in the ring. Now, as you guys know, Bayern Munich don't often discuss player transfers in public, and they've clearly stated that they want Harry Kane. But is this a legitimate rumor now, do you think, boys? Do you think Harry Kane could be a Man United player this summer?
Yes. If there's talks been going on with Bayern Munich, obviously Daniel Levy's going to listen. He's not signing a new contract by the looks of it, so they're going to look at wanting to shift him out. All they've got to do now is give him the right price, and then he's gone. Would he go to Bayern Munich? It's hard for me to see that. Would he want that Premier League record? Sure, he would. But then again, he's going to be fighting for Champions League. He's going to be at the top of the league, but German league, really? Because he's still at the top of his game. Now, if you go to Man United, you'll definitely break that Premier League record. And will he win stuff? That's the question. He'll be competing, but will he be actually winning stuff?
Well, Steve, there's a story going around that Joe Lewis, the Spurs owner, has become increasingly frustrated with the Harry Kane situation. He's obviously got 12 months left on his contract. He can leave for free next season. In an ideal world for Spurs, they want him to sign a contract agreement or an extension to keep him at the club. But the fact is, I think a couple of years ago when Kane was linked with City, that was the closest he came to leaving. But now, with the situation right now at Man United needing another striker with Spurs with a new manager, could do with the money. You think it could happen?
I do, yeah. I mean, I know we've talked about it frequently on your show, but I don't don't envisage the Bayern Munich move. I see him signing a new contract at Tottenham, or I see him going to Manchester United, and my suspicion tells me that United are not linked with any other centre forwards really, and they also, when they do get linked to players, they genuinely mean it. It's not like a smokescreen. It's not lies. It's not propaganda. There's normally something behind it, and there's still that massive void in the number 9 shirt for Manchester United, and the shirt certainly wouldn't be too heavy for Harry Kane. And I'm getting more suspicious by the day, and I think the fact that nobody's saying anything is actually suspicious enough.
Yeah, and Saj, we're hearing stories about United interested in the Atalanta forward Højlund, but all we're hearing is, well, personal terms are being discussed and blah, blah, blah. You know, Man United, if they want a player done, they usually get it done ASA. We saw with Onana quite recently how that's, which we're going to discuss in just a bit. So this Harry Kane situation, I don't think this has got anything to do with agents at the moment in terms of leaking stories. I think the interest is genuine from United.
Yeah, pretty sure it is. I mean, as we said, we spoke before about it'd be the perfect kind of forward for Man United. He can take that weight on his shoulders. In terms of buying the young guy from Atalanta, it's going to be hit or miss, isn't he? He might take a couple of years to get up and running. And a big club like Man United, you need to be on your game straight away. So I think obviously Kane is the better option, but I can see Kane running down his contract. I can't see them selling him because they're going to want too much for him, I think.
Oh, so you think it's the price tag that's
I think
making him stay?
Definitely price tag. That's how they are, or they'll negotiate right to the last day. To be honest, the last day of the transfer window. Can't see it being done anytime soon.
Does the season start before the transfer window ends?
I think what happened last season, did it?
Yes. The season starts on the 11th or the 12th of August. I think the window closes after that, I think.
Right, so it usually closes at the end of August, doesn't it?
Yeah. But I think last year, if I remember, did it close on before the season started?
I'm not sure because it was a weird season last year because the World Cup, wasn't it?
First of September, the window closes.
Okay.
There you go. So, but if you look at history that forwards have gone to Man United, you know, Teddy Sheringham, Cantona, Van Persie, in the careers, yeah, they've always been successful. I know it's a different era now, but you know, arguably, if we've got Harry Kane in that FA Cup final, we might have won the game because he's the difference sometimes. City didn't really play well, and United didn't really play well, but City had enough quality to get the job done. So, you know, these players make the difference, mate, in these big games. So that's why you pay the big bucks. If it's, you know, 80, 85 million, I'm sure they've got to get rid of maybe a couple of players. No, I don't see why Harry Maguire's hanging around with this Johnny Evans nonsense going about.
Yeah, but I think a lot of clubs are just, at the moment, no one's buying. It's gone very quiet, hasn't it? So everyone's like, if you look at Arsenal, we seem like overloaded with the squad and can't get rid of players. I think it's going to take one player to get sold or whatever, and then it's going to start moving again. Yeah,
I just think that Harry Maguire on certain teams, you know, he's a very good centre-half, solid centre-half. It's just when you play that high line, he struggles.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of transfers that need to be done at various clubs in the Premier. I think United still are a couple of players away from at least challenging for top four.
You know, McTominay as well. We've seen the emergence. This Manu looks a very good prospect. Do we need McTominay around? There's 35 million. So there's money there to be. Martial, do we need him? You know,
Eric Bailly apparently is going to Saudi Arabia as well.
This is small money, though. Tellez has gone, but we don't know the price. This is, you know, we need probably.
He's off the wage bill, though.
Yeah, true. We probably need 50, 60 million to recoup, to pay. We haven't, you know, this. You know what we like City, 115 charges. Do we do things by the book?
Started again. All right. Well, United to let David Gea go without so much of a goodbye, really, and they signed Onana. The Inter Milan goalkeeper, formerly of Ajax, was one of Ten Hag's players, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was.
So he knows him well. So, gentlemen, what do we make of this transfer? You had a good final against City, but is he the right man to replace De Gea? You guys think?
Definitely. Definitely, he's brilliant with his feet, and it's getting that way. That I heard on the radio the other day something about 73% of a goalkeeper's performance at the top level on a match day is with their feet. Now, obviously, the 25-30% are the high level saves that you make from your 6-yard box, from your goal line, and presumably David De Gea is still that man that can do the 25-30% of the job amazingly well. We know he's a great shot stopper, but the 73-75% of the role these days of the goalkeeper, David De Gea, as well as not being able to control his 18-yard box, as we've discussed before, but he just can't play from the back. And I actually admit the Inter Milan final against Manchester City, there was too much going on for me to really notice him whilst I was watching my own team. But I have seen back the goalkeeper's clips on the internet from that evening, and he was like Glenn Hoddle with his passing. Now that will revolutionise Manchester United, because he'll start them off, but all of a sudden Varane will start playing better. Obviously, the deep midfielders will Casemiro and Eriksen and Mount, and the fullbacks Luke Shaw. They'll just become a better unit with the better footballing goalie behind him. It's a great transfer.
Rod, what's your take of this one, mate? Because we haven't spoken to you about it, to be honest.
No, yeah, it's a good signing. It's just, it's a good signing. The manager, all the players that managers brought in have worked. So you just got to trust the manager. He's worked with him before. Like Stel said in that final, he was very, very good with his feet. 20-yard passes, 70-yard passes. They're on point, and
Rhodri, just quickly, his best pass actually is where he's looking as though he's going to spray it out to the wing, and then he cuts it on the floor to the centre midfield player who turns and they're off. He did that about 6 times. That's his best pass. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, he seems to have every pass in the book. So, and like Stel says, 70-odd% of the play the football, the keepers these days are with the feet. So, yeah, it's just the big moments. He's not going to have much to do, and then boom, can he make that? That's that world class save that then world class keepers can do. I'm sure he can. He's a big unit. He can command his box. He won't get bullied like De Gea has in the past. So we'll just have to wait and see. It's a lot of money, but I think it needed to happen. These little things that he was doing, that the goals we given away at the end of the season, it was frustrating because we was in these games and poor goals to give away when you really need to trust your keeper.
Saj, let me bring this on over to you, mate, because as a former centre-back yourself, you know what it's all about, especially if you've got a goalkeeper that you can trust. Now, when we spoke about Harry Maguire, I always believed that, David De Gea was hindered a little bit when you've got people like Lindelof and Maguire ahead of you making mistake after mistake. But then on the flip side, you can look at their perspective and say, when you've got a goalkeeper that's dropping clangers left, right, and centre, like the ones that he did this season, it doesn't fill the centre-backs with confidence. So do you think having someone like Onana in goal now would boost the confidence of Maguire and maybe make him a better defender? I don't know.
Good question.
I mean, with Onana, what they stated in about the Champions League kind of player profile is that he's got the technique of a midfielder. And if you look at a lot of Manchester United mistakes, a lot of them came from the goalkeeper when they're playing it back and he's trying to play it out. It's a mistake, goes for a throw in, and then they get a chance from that. You're not going to have that anymore, in terms of having someone reliable at the back that is going to come out and say catch the ball or play it out precisely. It makes a hell of a difference. You're not so nervous in passing it back, or you're very confident in how the ball's going to be retained. So it's a massive signing for Man United. And in terms of Onana, he nearly signed for Arsenal a couple of years ago when there was only suspension from Ajax. I think Arsenal were going to buy him for like 9 million. but he was suspended, I think, until October. So they went for Ramsdale instead. So it's, I've been keeping an eye on him for a couple of years. So it's definitely a massive, massive signing for Man United, and will definitely change the goals conceded for the whole season next season compared to the last season.
Yeah,
perfect age as well. 27.
Yep.
Right at the cream of when you're top of your game. 27 to 32. That's when we've got him for, and probably a little bit longer. So yeah, it's a good sign.
And they talk about his kicking, which is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but I think the other thing that makes him stand out from De Gea, there's a few other things, but his starting position as a goalkeeper. There've been so many times where balls over the top have happened, and obviously the centre backs either haven't been too quick to read the bounce or to chase the ball, and De Gea's just stuck on the edge of his 6-yard line, and it's so frustrating. But at least you got a goalkeeper here that can kind of like, remember how Fabian Barthez was. You know, he'd read the game well and act like a sweeper more than anything. And also Onana's good at catching, and he's got command of his penalty area, which is important. David De Gea didn't have that, and you know, I don't want to shit on De Gea from a great height, because he was a good servant to Man United. But at the same time, the tail end of his United career, the mistakes, the lack of confidence, so much was going on where it's the right time for him to go. And I'm sure he'll get a move. Then again, he might go to Saudi Arabia for all we know.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think with Manchester United, if you look back in the years, you look back at Peter Schmeichel when he used to receive the ball from wide areas and start the attack off straight with the long throws. You don't see that with De Gea. I'm sure you'll see that with this kid coming to collect balls and then starting attacks off really, really quickly with his passing and his throwing. You don't see De Gea coming out to do that because he would get bullied. He'd always be in his goal. Or
he's glued to the line, isn't he? A lot of the time. Glued to the line, no command.
The countless times I remember Peter Schmeichel winning a cross or a corner and starting off attacks was endless, and we'd never seen that for like 12 years. So we're going to see what they do this with this kid.
Mm.
Well covered, like.
And that'll be good for us if Rashford's there or the speed we've got up there. You know, you'll see a lot more goals like this season from that. For
sure. All right, well, let's quickly move on to this one. Sorry, Saj, but Arsenal were beaten 2-0 by Man United in a friendly, albeit, and many fan channels called it an unfriendly. 2 goalkeeping howlers by Ramsdale. Well, actually, one was from Ramsdale, and the second one was from Gabriel.
Gabriel always got mistaken him every game.
Do you want to talk about this one, Saj?
I only saw the highlights, but I mean, Gabriel.
I watched it all. It was an interesting game. They were getting stuck in. It was like watching United of old. They were getting stuck into Arsenal and all that.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. That's the problem. They've not really got an enforcer to kind of, you know, smash someone back now. Xhaka's gone, but 2 mistakes. Lucky enough, it's only pre-season. Although you don't want to lose in pre-season. What can I say? I don't know. I mean, as I said, they've got a big squad out there. I don't know whether he knows his first 11 and stuff like that. So, and this players still getting to know each other. So, but mistakes are mistakes, aren't they? You want to try and eradicate them as soon as possible.
Well, I was watching a lot of these reaction videos, and you know, fans have been talking about Arsenal's pre-season so far, and a lot of them have been saying that it's the intensity that they're worried about. Now, Rod obviously mentioned that United got stuck in. There was a challenge on Saka by Martinez, which
he won the ball, by the way.
Okay, he won the ball. The ball. And people saying, "Oh, it's a friendly. You shouldn't be doing that." But I don't think there's ever such a thing.
No such thing as a friendly. No such thing as a friendly.
I was going to say the same.
No, I agree.
But you got to take everything into context. You don't know how hard the teams have trained before. You don't know how they travelled. You don't know whether they're tired. So, you know, take everything into context, don't you? So, you know, you can read it too much into it, like a lot of those, you know, fan TVs do. But I think one kind of thing I would take away from it, I think he needs to give Balogun a chance for sure, rather than Eddie Nketiah. I think Balogun's got more potential, more goal, and a better eye for a goal, to be honest.
Well, that's an interesting one because from what I've heard, Jesus has been pretty decent over the pre-season so far. And obviously, I think he's going to be the main man up front. But also got more options all over the pitch now. I'd say anyway. Steve is shaking his head.
I was going to jump to that at the next point, but you go, Stel, and I'll tell you what I was thinking.
No, I think Arsenal have got more options all over the pitch in terms of quality. They brought in Timber, a right back, who clearly is an upgrade from Cedric, which is the alternative, or Tomiyasu. Ben White can obviously go back into the centre back position if need be, if Saliba is injured again, or obviously Zinchenko is a bit iffy, but Tierney looks like he's been all right in pre-season. I think the conundrum with Havertz is a big one, though, where he plays or his best position, and replacing Xhaka will be a bit of an issue in terms of the physicality. But I think Trossard's a good option to have. Martinelli is going to be rotated. I think Saka will be rotated as well this season because he's played that whole heap of games over the past couple of years. But you mentioned Balogun, who's back from his loan, I think. Was he on loan?
Yeah. Scored 21 goals, didn't he, out in France?
Yeah. So, yeah, I think they're all right. Maybe they need a couple more players because Rice still needs to settle. But, Steve, what are you going to say, young man? Sorry.
Yeah, no, I just think sometimes the obvious thing is when you are growing as a team and a club again and, you run the Premier League all the way through to April, basically, with a chance of winning it. I thought they were too emotional. But, the connection between the boardroom, the manager, the team and the supporters is back at Arsenal. So you want to grow it and the budget's probably increased and you sign more players. But eventually you start rotating when you get more players and then the team loses rhythm. I've seen it before, not necessarily saying it'll happen again, but Arsenal, it was quite stitched in last year that you would have Saka on the right, playing about 100 games. You'd have Odegaard around the middle of the pitch, trying to support and get into the penalty area. You would have Gabriel Jesus as the striker when he was fit. And then you'd have Martinelli on the left. And then the person who would come on would be Trossard. And they were all benefiting from rhythm and game time and cohesion. Sometimes when you add another player to the mix and you think, oh, that will freshen it up, that will add something different, all of a sudden you start cutting the games off players. I think you possibly lose their impact. And I thought Arsenal had it cooking last year. And I've just got a feeling, certainly with the signing of Havertz, I mean, they don't have to play him. He'll have to earn the right. But if they're just trying to find minutes and appearances for him at the expense of the other, just by rotating 1 or 2, 3 positions, it can mess you up.
And the thing is, I still don't know anyone that can tell me Havertz's best position. I know some Chelsea fans are saying he's played central midfield, he's played attacking midfield, he's a false 9, as a centre forward, and no one can pinpoint his best role. So if Arteta can do that, then hats off to the guy. But it just looks to me that he'll be possibly a number 2 as a number 10, if that makes sense. But Odegaard's number 2, I don't know.
Did you hear Ben Thornley's comments, ex-Manchester United winger on MUTV?
No.
He's been nailed for it, Ben Thornley, because he said, as an early substitute in the second half, that he was surprised that Havertz lasted that long on the pitch. And his co-commentator said, why? And he said, because he was absolutely rubbish. And he's getting hammered for it in terms of being brutally honest. Rhodri, did you hear the comment? And was his performance that bad?
I didn't even think he was playing until seeing him like about I think it's like the 41st minute. I thought, all right, that's Havertz, that, isn't it? Yeah.
I think that's his problem. He doesn't look hungry. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't look like he gives it all, or he doesn't look like he gives 100%. He just looks like he's coasting through the game from
and that's probably his persona. But you need to play well. And I don't think he plays well to suit that, and then the fans will get on his back. So it looks like he's lazy, and he's probably not. But yeah, it's a strange one. It's a lot of money that for.
That's the minimum that you ask for a player, just giving 100%. If you don't play well, or whatever, something goes wrong, you got no issue with that. As long as people give 100%, that's the minimum.
Yeah, but they've got history at Arsenal for playing big money, having flops. What was that, Pepe?
Yeah.
That was with the last.
You think that? And Arsenal, I think, because they've done so well last year, I don't think don't get me wrong, they'll still finish. They'll still think they'll finish in the top 4. But I don't think they'll have a good season like they did last year, because I think they caught a lot of teams off guard last year.
Mm.
Or the 6th, 7th, and then suddenly they're top of the league playing fantastic football. I think teams will do their own work a lot better than this season. They'll have a lot tougher season. They'll still do well in the top 4, like I say, but they won't be competing for the league, I don't think.
I've got to say, lads, I am of a certain age, so it doesn't impress me, but I've already seen Kai Havertz has interviewed Saka. He handed the microphone. Saka then interviewed Kai Havertz. They're doing videos and selfies on the aeroplanes. It's all camera jockey behaviour, and it's just taking the eye off the actual prize. You don't really see the top player. You don't see Kevin De Bruyne with a phone in his hand on a private jet. Messing about and putting it on social media. I know the world is changing, but Arsenal just looks like a jolly up to me.
Stes, don't you think that's the modern player? I don't think Kevin De Bruyne's a bit older for all that business.
True.
You know, that online content for Instagram or YouTube or whatever channel they're doing.
I agree. That's why I said I'm of a certain age, and it doesn't impress me. I just would like to see Kai Havertz maybe get 20 goals first before he starts putting a camera in front of his own face and putting it all over the internet.
Listen, it's all right. It's all right to do that, but you need to be. I remember in 94, 95, Steve Bruce did a captain's log.
Yeah, true.
Well, it happens, but they're winning leagues while they're doing it.
Yeah, that's the key point. For me, if you're going to be that type of character, you've got to be playing well. He's not even had a game yet. So let's get the football sorted first. Would be my approach.
Do you know what it is? I think because of the way that Arsenal social media is run, they love that kind of thing, and I think they're trying to appeal to the fan base in the United States, because obviously the Americans love that kind of entertainment as well.
Right.
But fighting themselves in the stand then, Stel. Should have a bit more discipline. Arsenal fans fighting with themselves in the stadium. You've not seen it.
Maybe one was Wenger out, one was Arteta out. I think that's what it was. Or one was DT, one was
Lee Gunner, was it?
No.
My God.
No. I don't think so. Anyway, no, it's not. There was something I completely forgot I was going to say now. Shit. Bollocks! I forgot what I was going to say. Doesn't matter.
Just quickly, how bad was Ramsdale then, or was it just one mistake?
I only saw the goal where he kind of just flapped it and it's kind of gone in. He should have definitely saved it. To be fair, I think he should have saved the second one as well.
Okay,
if I'm honest.
Near post, yeah.
He's another pick for him, isn't it? Just ADHD out of his head.
Yeah, I agree.
No, I do like Ramsdale. I think he's decent.
They were fighting over a hot dog. Someone stole his burger. It started. Here's a quick question, boys. Who do you think will be a surprise club this year in the Prem? Who do you think will surprise?
I don't think they'll be a surprise anymore. But watching Brighton in pre-season, I still think they're really, really good, and they'll surprise people again.
Brighton,
Villa.
Yeah, Villa.
Aston Villa. I saw them yesterday. Did they play Newcastle? They look decent. Yeah. They look really good. But again, Was it Newcastle played the High Line, wasn't it?
Oh, Villa.
The only worry I have for Villa is they're in Europe, and have they got a big enough squad?
Well, they've just signed Diaby. Diaby, the left winger. It'd be interesting to see how he goes.
I think Burnley are going to surprise a lot of people next season.
What, by just staying up?
Well, possibly.
That'd be a good season from that, though, just staying up.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think they will stay up. I think they'll do all right, but because they've just signed the guy for Man City, haven't they? The goalkeeper who just won the 21s.
Trafford.
Yeah.
I think Bournemouth will struggle. I think Crystal Palace will struggle without Wilfred Zaha. I think
old club.
Palace have only signed one player, haven't they?
They've not. Wilfred Zaha is a massive player for them.
Yeah, but they still got Elisa and
yeah. Be interesting to see.
Yeah.
I do think this, lads. I do think that there's going to be a real bottleneck at the bottom, And I do think, though, it will be the best chance. Rhodri mentioned Bournemouth, Everton. It'll be the best chance of staying in the Premier League for some time, because I do think there'll be loads down the bottom. But I do think Luton Town and Sheffield United will be two of those places that will go back to the Championship. So I think it'll be just one place, lads.
Well, what do you think of West Ham? I don't think they'll do well this season.
Well, they've got that home stadium. They've still got power. They've still got talent. They've still got an unbelievably experienced, now a trophy-winning manager.
Yeah.
West Ham aren't going to be anywhere near Luton Town and Sheffield United. They're not going to be where they want to go, but they're not going to be in any trouble.
I think they need to recruit well. The money's got Declan Rice as well.
Yeah,
they have two players that they need to bring in that kind of money. And it's what kind of players they have to bring in. Harry Maguire or McTominay or someone else. You know, that's good sign.
Do you think Harry Maguire would suit West Ham?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you look at people like Craig Dawson, who's played for David Moyes and West Ham, you know, who attacks everything with his head, goes up for the corners.
Is he a better player than Zuma?
He's that type, isn't he? So to answer that question of Sag, he's West Ham. Harry Maguire's West Ham all day.
I think he's lack of pace though. He struggles then. Maybe. But then they play quite deep though, don't they? It's not like they're going to play a high line, are they? West Ham really?
No, I think he's West Ham and David Moyes more importantly all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, old centre half, everything.
Yeah.
Head kick squeeze.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be concern for West Ham though. Well, their fans anyway, because they haven't signed anyone. They haven't signed anyone at all. Oh, sorry, they signed one player from Cliftonville, but I don't think he'll be.
There's good deals out there as well. Look at Johnny Evans. He'd be a good signing for anyone in the Premier League. He's a solid centre half when he went fit. I wouldn't say necessarily that he's fit to Man United, but that's a different story. But
did you see his last games for Leicester?
Yeah, I know.
When your body fails, great pro or not, your body fails.
How old is it? 31.
Stel.
You're not older than that, no?
Johnny Evans got to be 35.
Really? He's that old? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's about that. But Stel, Jesse Lingard's available.
Stel, what was that?
Signed. I think what? Oh no, I thought he signed in Saudi or something.
Who?
Lingard.
No, not yet.
That's what I heard. He was going out though. I don't know.
Surprised if he went there. He's just
Axel Tanzebe is available on a free transfer.
By
Phil Jones.
Yeah,
Phil Jones.
There's deals out there, but he's reliable though. Some of these are injury prone. He's always injured, even though he's a good player when he's fit.
Stel, what was that lowest of the bottom of the league? Was it Derby County all those years ago? And
yes.
15 points, was it?
What was the point?
Oh, I don't know. It was them and Sunderland, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Lowest points. Hang on, lowest.
Right. Who do you think's going to hit that then?
Luton.
Oh, yeah, that could be it. You know.
Luton, Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Hold on. Mind you, mate, that Luton at Kenilworth Road, not many teams will want to go there.
It's horrible there, isn't it?
Oh, it's a dump.
Oh.
Change
Derby,
room,
11 points.
Horrible.
Derby, 11 points. 2007, 2008.
The Premier League boys will find a way of winning at Kenilworth Road. Don't you worry about that.
Oh. Horrible.
Well, it's not a plastic pitch anymore.
No. The Premier League boys will find a way.
For sure. All right, well let's move over to this one. This is a bit controversial, but I think we should talk about it. Jordan Henderson could be on his way to Saudi Arabia. And
he's already gone.
Is he gone? Official?
Yeah. Like why wouldn't he go? And go on.
Yeah, I'm just asking if is it done 100%?
I think so. Yeah, 700 bags a week, isn't it?
Jordan Henderson. Let's have a look.
We wearing them rainbow laces out there. He was a big thing.
Right.
Well, he wear them out there.
Okay, according to Wikipedia, he's still a Liverpool player.
Because he's doing a medical in Manchester, isn't it, or something? I heard.
I don't know.
Sorry.
I don't know. But
So I've been watching
okay.
reading too much football stuff recently, as
That's
you
all
can
right.
tell.
It's all right. It's all right.
But
So
what's
go on.
controversial about it?
Okay, let's go into this, right? So Jordan Henderson has been very vocal about the whole rainbow laces and the LGBTQ support, and there have been various outspoken people saying that what he was saying in the past, backing the community, so to speak, it's all lip service and he's hollow words, etc., etc. Now, I'll give you my thoughts on this, just so that I can stir the pot a little bit, and I'm just going to be 100% honest, right? You take the money out of the equation, okay, for the time being. You're looking at a 33-year-old midfielder that has won everything there is to win at club level. Can we agree with this?
Correct.
He's won everything that you need to win, right? And he's been given an opportunity to play in Saudi Arabia. Now, on the one hand, people are going to say, well, he can go out there and promote what he's been championing for a while, but we know that's not going to happen, because if you do that over there, you know, fuck around, find out. That's what they say, right? That's effectively what it is. Now, I'm just going to tell it like it is, right? I've been saying for God knows how long that all of these big companies that are doing this whole rainbow laces, that whole situation, right? It is a way to boost their profile. It is a way to increase the value of their organizations, because philanthropy is the best form of marketing. Okay. And when you jump on something like this, it boosts your profile, which means you're more financially viable, and you're a happy person. You embrace the world. You embrace all of that's good in the world. But we know full well that it was I know full well, let me rephrase that. In my opinion, it was a massive publicity stunt, which a lot of people are doing right now. And for Jordan Henderson to go to Saudi Arabia, I don't blame him for a second, because it's a safer country, in my opinion. Anyway, he's getting paid very, very well. And on top of that, so what? Like, who cares? If he's happy, that's his life. I'm just going to say this. I just feel sorry for his family members. And I'm sorry if I'm talking out of line now, boys, because I'm not putting you in this situation. It's just my opinion, not yours. I feel sorry for his family members that are going to be abused all over social media because of a decision that he has made with his life. Okay? That's just my honest opinion. That's it. I'm done with that.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it, to be honest. I mean, if you go and live, you're getting paid that much money, and you can still have your opinions, but live within the law. That's it, really. You know.
I think I caught that girl who was talking to Pierce Morgan. My kids can cry in a Ferrari. So that's what I could say.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. Everything goes over the top. It's just,
anyone who's saying it would
exactly.
They would do the exact same. Yes, he's promoted the rainbow laces, blah blah blah. But the most important thing is my family, and with this, I probably earn as much as they have in my whole career in 2 years. So,
but the thing is, what I find quite disturbing about the whole situation is that it's the portrayal of a culture that a lot of people don't understand. They talk about, oh well, it's a nation where if you're gay, then you get beheaded or some stupidness like that. That's not how it works in those countries. It's not like you walk around and they say, "Are you gay?" Yeah, okay, we'll kill you. That's not how it works, right? If you're that way inclined, it doesn't bother them so long as you don't throw it in their faces and do all sorts of stuff in the streets. I mean, I remember a few years ago when I went to Dubai, I got a friend that lives out here, and she was like, "Oh, I would never go there." Why not? Because there are certain rules. Like what? Well, I can't hold my husband's hand in public. You can, just don't do it during Ramadan. You can go to the supermarkets and hold your husband's hands. Ain't a big deal. And she goes, well, there was a woman that got arrested for having sex on the beach. I says, are you going to do that? No. I says, if you did that at Southend, you'd get arrested. So what's the difference?
Yeah, it's just a perception, isn't it? A Western perception of Middle East culture. You don't know till you're there, to be honest. As long as you stick within the boundaries, you're not really going to get in trouble, as you said.
Even Gerrard's not got much backlash, and he's like starting his coaching career. He's gone over there. Usually you go at the end of your coaching career, but he's gone over there. He's not really got much. No, he's earning millions.
But the thing is, they call it sports washing, but then we can talk about the woke washing that's been going on in the world. But we're not going to go into that because it's a football show. Steve, if you're Jordan Henderson and you're 33 years old, having won everything there is to win, and then you get a bumper cash offer, where it be from Saudi Arabia, Timbuktu, the moon, would you go?
I can't tell you how 100% more that I would go. Yeah, I mean, there's two guarantees here that I'm gonna project. I'm gonna like hand it over to you. If he was fit all season for Liverpool, let's call it 60 games. Well, the fact is he's not going to be. His body doesn't allow it. His back record shows that he's never going to be fit for a full season. So if you put the 60 and a half to 30, the games that he's available for, he'll probably be picked in 20 of them for Liverpool because they're going to get good again. And this top captain, this top pro that's won the trophies, that shows everybody how to do it. One, his body will fail to not allow him to complete the full season. And two, even when he's fit, he won't get picked. I bet Liverpool are just doing the right thing here now and just hoping that he goes. And the lad should go, and he should go and get as much as he can at the last move of his career. If he stays in England, I reckon he's not going to play 30 games.
And the thing is, I hear people saying, "Oh, well, Jordan Henderson is a Liverpool captain, and where are they gonna find that player to be the next leader at the club?" And I'm thinking, you got Van Dijk, you got Robertson, you got Trent Alexander-Arnold that can wear that captain's armband. There's 3 players already. So this whole like Liverpool DNA thing is foolishness. I'm sorry, it's nonsense.
No, this is true. This is true. And they're good enough to go and get the next Jordan Henderson for when he came in the first place. They've got the money. They've got the history. Go and sign the equivalent that is 10 years younger like they did in the first place.
Yeah.
If Jordan Henderson was going over to Saudi Arabia earning 40 grand a week, we wouldn't be talking about this. It's just because it's £700,000 a week. It's just...
Rod, would we be talking about if Jordan Henderson went to MLS for similar money, hypothetically speaking? Would we be talking about it? We wouldn't, would we?
No, because he's 33, and like Stel has just outlined and spoke about, he won't play as many games. Plus, if he's in a hotter climate, be a lot better on the body.
Exactly.
So it's just no brainer.
Anyway. Right.
Can you imagine? That's why Messi chose all the clubs. He chose Miami, boiling all year round. No,
yeah, but the reason why he chose Miami is because it's closer to Argentina than anywhere else. He wants to go home.
Miami's more Spanish, Latin place, and there's a lot of. So you can just blend in there, can't you?
And they've offered him a franchise deal, haven't they, for one of the expansion clubs as well to put in.
Really?
Well, the same thing with Beckham. I'm pretty sure they have, yeah. So why wouldn't you?
Well, I'll tell you this now. Now that Saudi Arabia are doing what they're doing, I guarantee you in the next few seasons, this MLS salary cap is going to go out the window because now they're falling behind. They were trying to get up there with the European clubs. They were trying and it was never going to happen. But they were throwing all this money, this and that. They don't have a promotion and relegation system for a start. So
I think they're setting up, aren't they? I think they're setting up a promotion and relegation.
Yeah, with USL and USL too. But there's too many clubs. There's too many clubs.
But then again, I don't know if the salary cap will go either because it's kind of very much in the American sports kind of sports business model as well with all the other sports, isn't it? With basketball, baseball, American football. So I can't really see that changing much over there.
What I will say to that is they did change it for David Beckham though to get him at LA Galaxy.
Yeah, I mean they might expand it with how much it is. They might increase the wage, but I don't think they'll ever get rid of the salary cap there.
Well, with Anheuser-Busch losing 20-odd billion in the past few weeks, I can't see them sponsoring MLS soon, but I'm not going to go into that, because they're so woke. Final thing, boys and girls, Trevor Francis, unfortunately, passed away today. Sag, as a former Crystal Palace player and Trevor Francis being a former Crystal Palace head coach, this was a massive shock to me anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he's still very young, isn't he? What, 69 was he?
69, yeah.
Very, very young age to die. I mean, a lot of people are dying at this young age, especially a couple of years after.
Are you going to say it? Are you going to say it? Are you going to say
No,
it?
I'm not. After a couple of years after the virus. So, maybe this is the after effects of what's happening. Of what's happened, sorry, should we say?
Possibly, allegedly. But look, this is the guy that was the first £1 million player. He scored a famous goal for Nottingham Forest. Didn't he win 2 European Cups with them, or was it one? Was it back to back when he won? Was it in the second year?
He scored in one with the header at the back post.
Did he play in this? Was he at Forest in the second year they won it?
Did they buy him after they won the first one though? I'm not too sure. That's before my time.
I think that's Sag, but I'd like you to check that, Stel. I think that's Sag.
Yeah, I think they bought him after they won the first one, and then they didn't play much, if I'm right.
Okay, pardon the tapping. This is me. So yeah, guys, while I find this these statistics to back it up, gentlemen, just go into this. Hang on.
All right, yeah. I mean, obviously a fantastic footballer, very unique in the way he did his interviews, I suppose, after he finished as a manager and stuff like that. Didn't really have much. I don't even think I played against any of his teams.
He won both. He was there.
Played in both.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Good. I apologise for not being sure.
He beat me to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But can I just say something else, Stel, as well? Are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very polite when he was described as the first £1 million player, and he turned it into a tongue-in-cheek joke. But the actual transfer fee was actually more than £1 million, and people always just round it off at the nearest million. But it was actually 1.1, and he always corrects them and says, no, it was more than £1 million actually. Yeah.
I don't really remember him as a player, but obviously I remember him being as a commentator. He was really good at commentator. Yeah, it's just sad. 69.
You know what's fascinating as well? Manchester City supporters, I mean, they will always say Colin Bell, and they would obviously recently say Sergio Aguero, Vincent Kompany, and Kevin De Bruyne and David Silva. But if the conversation goes longer, people start talking about Trevor Francis being one of City's greatest ever players. Now, that was just because he was one of the greatest players in England at the time, and because City paid that transfer fee for him, and he went on to score in European Cup finals for Notts Forest. But the biggest shock is when you tell people that he only played 26 games for Manchester City. But, so for that transfer fee, and for people to say he was a brilliant player in Manchester City's history, he did actually only play 26 games, which everybody is startled by that.
I remember he played for Sheffield Wednesday at the back end of his career. The only time I really remember him playing was Sheffield Wednesday in the early 90s in the Prem when it first started. I think he was on the bench in the 1991 League Cup final against Man United, the one where John Sheridan scored the winner. I think it was John Sheridan, wasn't it? He hit the post and went in.
Yeah, it was.
Ron Atkinson was head coach. But Rod, you're right. I remember. Huh?
I was at that game.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't have seen him then. He was on the bench.
No, I was at the game. It was the apprentices could take one person, and I was one person. I remember it.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the Rumbelows Cup. It was called, wasn't it?
Rumbelows Cup. Yeah. Did he play in the?
He won it. Yeah.
Did he play in the 3-3 at Hillsborough? Do you remember the 3-3? When United were 3-1 down and they scored twice in the last 10 minutes or something. It's a good game, that one. Ryan McClare scored, I think. Eric scored. So yeah, I remember
shadows, always shadows it, done it with Steve Bruce, the 2 late goals with Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But there was he head coach of Cardiff? Was he manager of Cardiff? No, it was Birmingham City.
Birmingham City. That's where he's when they lost to Liverpool, didn't they?
Liverpool and penalties, wasn't it?
Queen's Park Rangers. 98, 89, Sheffield Wednesday 91, 95, Birmingham City
As a manager.
2001,
As a manager.
Crystal Palace. Yeah, as a
Yeah,
manager.
Yeah, wasn't he player manager at Sheffield Wednesday?
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah. Possibly. He's probably player manager at Queen's Park Rangers as well, if it's 88, 89.
Yeah.
No, because he was playing it for Sheffield Wednesday in the Premier League in 93.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. He must have been player manager for Queen's Park Rangers at 88, 89.
How many England caps? Because I
Wednesday,
remember him at the World Cup, but how many England caps did he have, Rhodri?
England caps, he had 52.
Oh, very
I
good.
think that was just before my time. I think the first major tournament I saw was the '86
Mexico.
Great World Cup.
Yeah, he was at Spain '82.
Yeah, he played for some clubs. Sampdoria, he went to Italy as well.
Yeah, he was Vialli's man, wasn't he? He was Vialli's partner, Vialli's mate. Yeah.
Then he went to Atlanta. He played in America on loan.
Yeah. Glasgow Rangers as well.
Detroit.
Oh yeah.
So, and then he went to Wollongong City. Where's Wollongong? It's got to be Australia. That.
It's Steve. How about this one? It says here the actual transfer fee was 1.15 million.
There you go.
Which included 15% commission to the Football League. And Brian Clough wrote in his autobiography that the fee was 999,999, as he wanted to ensure the £1 million milestone did not go to the player's head.
No, right, yeah, brilliant.
Absolutely fantastic. Right, boys, I think we've done enough. Shall we quickly talk about a few other transfer rumours? Mahrez is on his way to Saudi Arabia, apparently, Steve.
Yeah, well, obviously at the age, you would hope that City would replace him. Again, we probably say this for every player. It's a stock answer now. You can't blame the players for going. So that would be from the player perspective. But from the club, hopefully he can be replaced. But he wasn't picked in the big finals. But we will miss him over the course of each season, where he is good for 12 to 15 goals. If you put Gundogan's 10 goals with that, City are so admired. But if Mahrez goes now, there's immediately 25 goals missing from the team, which will be a big miss. But he would be one player that I admire. I think people would agree he's got the best first touch in football, possibly. And he's a wonderful player that's won the Premier League at 2 clubs. But I think he could go, yeah. That he can. But obviously, I'd like to think he would be replaced.
Saj, Zaha has joined Galatasaray. Apparently, he's received 2 million signing on fee and is going to be paid 3 million per year. And now he's playing up front with Icardi, I think.
Icardi, yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to somewhere like Turkey, get all your money up front just in case it all goes tits up.
Careful.
Get all your money up front straight away. I mean, Zaha's a great player. Just listening to this debate on Talk Sport actually about whether he's been loyal or disloyal to Crystal Palace. I'm like, he's always wanted to play in the Champions League, and it's like Galatasaray is a massive club. I mean, I did play it out in Turkey once, and it was the worst experience of my life. We played an Intertoto game in Samsunspor. No one's ever heard of it. And
Samsunspor, yeah.
All right, you heard of it, yeah? The worst experience of my life. It was just too hot. Stuff got nicked off the coach.
Let's start from the beginning. Tell us this story. I need to hear this story.
Oh god, yeah, it's just a nightmare. So we got there, got off the aeroplane, chartered aeroplane to Samspor, whatever it was. Anyway,
Samsunspor, yeah.
We got onto the coach and we saw a guy with his hand in his coat pocket, say up here. Oh. In there, and then he started running after the coach for about 2 miles. We stopped off at the hotel, and he's there, and he's still looking and talking. I'm like, this is just a bad sign. And then we got there, trained. We weren't allowed out. Lost the game 2-0. It was just it was like in the middle of August as well. I think I came on, and the geezer just ran me down the channel straight away. I was breathing out my arse. It was just like. It was just a bad place to play, right? So just had bad experiences of playing in Turkey. But I wish him the best of luck there. Galatasaray is a massive club, as we said before. I think they have to qualify for the Champions League, but I don't think that'll be too much of a problem. And he'll get his dream of playing in the European Cup, if not the UEFA Cup. So I wish him the best. He's been a great servant for Crystal Palace, and yeah, he'll always be a legend in Crystal Palace's eyes for sure.
There you go. Wonderful. All right, gentlemen, thank you for jumping on. It's been another great episode, and hopefully we'll be back same time next week. All the socials are in the links in the description. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts on what we've been discussing. So until next time,